G2, they really do look like they've got the best offense in North America, and they have for a while. I think out of all of the very top teams, really just between them and NRG. Oh, it was cut off here by a great pass in field. I was going to credit G2 for being the better demo team. They didn't get a chance to do it here. That's a brilliant linking up play by Justin and Garrett.
And Justin's done a phenomenal
job.
job.
Flip here. It doesn't sit very nicely for him, and he has to just dump it straight back down towards Turbo.
I'm going to drop up. Chicago has it over to Turbo. One whiff off the backboard is all it takes. NRG have doubled up.
And it's some very nice passing to set this one up again by NRG, but the goal really is a read that you'd expect with teams like NRG and everybody else in the lower bracket. Oh my goodness, what on earth was that by Justin? He somehow got them all sideways. NRG are just piling forward here. That's 3-0. They're looking good, Shogun.
A quick statement of intent by the reigning world champions NRG. 3 goals to the better. They should be okay to take this one now. I think it's a good play that. We'll get to see this again later on as here comes Garrett. Wants to defeat Rizzo on the 1v1. Couldn't quite get it, and a booming clear, but NRG should be able to scoop this one up. And they have also scooped game number 1 comfortably. NRG are going to take this. And G2 are going to have to figure out what exactly went wrong here.
It should be quite an easy thing to identify for G2, I think. It's not hard to spot the mistakes in a few of these goals. Rizzo just giving away possession for the first one. Chicago completely whiffing the ball for the second goal. When you're 2-0 down from mistakes like that, it's really difficult to come back, and they weren't able to. But, you know, besides that kind of defense...
Established themselves on the rotation. Justin off the backboard, looks for the second touch, he's going to leave it. Now Garrett's all the way back by himself. But right now, both teams just trading possession on the midfield, but Turbo Pulse has got his third for the series.
And once again, NRG are being allowed to play the game that they want to play. They want to play a nice gentleman's game of Rocket League. Able to get close to Justin there. He almost took 3 players out by himself, but G2 have dispossessed him, and they're keeping the ball in the blue end. Very suddenly, it's a counter-attack down the middle, and Turbo Pulse puts it in for 2-0. NRG are going from strength to strength.
We wanted to see when G2 are going to start committing a little bit more.
Is a bit off. We usually see multiple threats hitting at the same time. Shots coming in at the same time as a demo, at the same time as a passing option infield. But right now, G2 just don't have that synergy. They're getting broken down, and it's NRG who are hitting them with those perfectly timed offensive plays.
And Turbo's got himself his 5th for the series. Garrett, though, full credit for the setup. You find an answer. What can Jazzo say to them that's going to be able to turn this around? Because this is dire right now, and this early, but it is dire. That's how poorly this has gone.
Oh, that's a shot on target, though. Chicago will get the first goal for G2. Nicely placed shot. Looked like Turbo had a pretty good chance to save it. I think he may have underestimated how high Chicago could hit that ball. Turbo is ready to die. They're so well known for. And they're really being out-demoed and, you know, outplayed off the ball by NRG in this series. I wonder if that is the game plan change that NRG talked about, because their offense is looking pretty scary today. They're scoring a lot of goals that look like G2-style goals. And unfortunately for G2, it's another miss in defense that sets up an easy goal for their opponent.
Something, but you've got to do it with some level of coyness in a way. Just make sure that you're not going to just instantly give away the play, as Justin is going to doink it into the back of the net. And there we are, 5-1. This is all NRG.
And we saw a couple of plays attempting a shot here. Garrett with the pre-flip, and Justin with the little pop backwards into the
clear. Over to JNAPS. Is there a consolation here? No, NRG will deny them even that. The ball should hit the floor, and it will. 2-0 to NRG. Half of the job done.
And they're making it look pretty easy right now. NRG on a fast track to victory against their biggest regional rivals, against the top team in the region right now. And
can offer both themselves and their fans a little bit of hope. And Jam's going to push that ball into the wall. Chicago back over to him. Good 1-2 play. JNAPS with the flick over the top of Justin. Rizzo is moving forward. Will not be needed. And is that the hope that G2 needs?
That's a fantastic pass, but look at this play from JNAPS. The catch into the flick really had no time in between it, and he was there to knock Turbo Pulse into the goal. This game and this series, so many really unusual misses on the ball that you'd expect to be just routine touches for a team like this, regardless of the pressure. But hey, they've made it 2-0 despite all these misplays. So something is clearly working in game 3 that wasn't in the previous 2.
Just completely offsetting the NRG rotation.
Strategy from G2, effective as it has been, was quite simply miss the ball to confuse your opponents. It looks like NRG have hurt themselves in their confusion, but they're on the comeback here. One goal goes in just as we enter the last 2 minutes of the game. It looks like Garrett was just given too much space. There was no backup for the initial challenge for G2. Easy conversion for Justin.
Yeah, countering attacking opportunity. Garrett can't find his way past JNAPS. He wins the challenge as well. Huge demo. JNAPS passes over to Chicago, reaches for it. And the scramble to get to the ball is won by Chicago. 2-goal lead re-established.
And that's the danger of going for those demo plays. We saw Justin running down the line there to make one on G2.
Turbo will get dunked by the oncoming challenge. Justin, though, takes his time. Tries to control the ball. He's got 2 players out. He's only got JNAPS left to beat. Does JNAPS stand a chance? Crossbar helped him, but it only can suppress NRG for but a moment. That's a 1-goal game yet again.
That's just brute strength in the challenge by Justin. 2 50-50s in a row. Justin to keep NRG in the game. G2 are still in a great position to win game 3, despite their best efforts to throw it away by getting in each other's way.
Garrett cannot keep it up. The series lead is cut in half. G2 have picked up their first, and Johnny, it was unconvincing. Managed to reverse the pressure. Turbo looks to find a teammate. He did get one. Not on target, though, and now JNAPS from Chicago in support. Might not need him. Instead, it's a selfless pass. Could have gone for net, but wanted to ensure of the goal.
And that's just far too risky by NRG. See everybody flying forward there. Third man in that position needs to be so careful.
And we're still at 1-0. Now G2 try and find a way out, but Justin's just diving for this ball every single time. How on earth have G2 managed to survive? And now they transition. Chicago's got 2.
Once again, G2 are allowed to play their game. NRG are throwing themselves into challenges. They're leaving third man isolated. And this time, it's not a misplay that gets over a minute for NRG in the hunt for the comeback, which seems so difficult to find right now. After games 1 and 2, you just wondered how many goals were NRG going to score each game, but this is no longer the case. The timing is back for G2. That is the second goal where there is a perfectly timed off-the-ball play by Rizzo. This time just forcing Justin into the near post goal. Idea for them to focus on. But the timing has not been there in the last 2 games. NRG have, been going for bumps and demos on goalkeepers, while the ball really isn't under their team's control. And G2, meanwhile, they've been doing it when they have full control. That's really the difference for me. And G2, they definitely have more experience with that strategy. I'm not surprised to see them utilizing it more effectively. And NRG need to be careful. If they're going to try and play this game, they need to play it smart. They need to pick their spots. They need to time their attacks perfectly. They can't leave their third man isolated in the back over and over again against a team like G2 who are so good at eliminating that third man from the equation in the blink of an eye.
Well, that goal is definitely going to be a little bit more flattering to this game than it really was. As a scoreline of 3-2 is giving a bit more credit, but for me, the major difference right now, and you can always tell when G2 are playing well, depending on where their third man is. The more aggressive they are, the more confident they're feeling. It's not something that we saw in games 1, 2, and 3 because that third man was sat so far back, pretty much behind their own, their own halfway line, which something switched on them. They've got the pace going, as looks like NRG are going to let them have the goal back, and that's certainly good sportsmanship.
Yeah, it's great sportsmanship here from NRG. The rules do state that in a situation like this where a pause does happen for a technical difficulty, you do go back to a kickoff for 0-0.
Just has to try and make sure he gets the ball. That's going to be pinched all the way to the other side of the field. And G2 have now taken full command of this series.
It's all going to go over right as the ball hits the ground. There it is. And G2 looked their best there in Game 5. That was the cleanest performance we've seen from them all series long. That shows the caliber on this team. It shows the experience on this roster.
Often starting to force a few more saves because right now they just haven't quite been able to hit the target.
And the only problem last game for NRG was that they had to do that style from 1 goal down. Oh my goodness. Well, how about that for a read by Garrett? He's just caught this one as it bounces down off the crossbar. 7 seconds in. And really great play there by Garrett. So quick and no chance really for...
They must win. This is match point, and it's going to be a turbo shot that's saved by Justin. I don't quite know what we've just seen here, but now we transition to the other side of the field.
Oh.
J-Nams makes it 1 each.
Oh my goodness, that could be one of the biggest moments in this series. You know, clinical from G2, perfectly executed counter-attack.
Move in, but right now, you can see how many times NRG are moving a player forward, and they have to turn that player back around. They're not quite sure what G2 are trying to do with the ball, and sometimes I don't think G2 are quite sure what G2 are trying to do with the ball.
It's just careless. JNaps, I think, trying to pop it in field to Chicago, but there is a complete breakdown of communication. Chicago wasn't sure whether he wanted to commit.
Chicago, a defensive wall stout throughout the whole series. He continues to hold.
He's had some great saves, Chicago. Now that's a fantastic pass, and JNaps converts. G2, 2-2. And there is again just no time for NRG to react. The passing is just perfect by Rizzo.
And every one of these goals...
The G2 team, it's such a difficult balance to find against G2, who are usually so good at both picking the right spot to attack and timing it well. And they've just scored a third goal. Chicago gets to the score sheet. And this one is all too easy. NRG, there's like nobody at the back.
Yeah, don't have any idea how they were trying to play that one.
Only this, unless Garrett can say something about it. Rizzo with a heroic save. Keeps Garrett at bay, keeps NRG at bay. And now it's on 0 seconds. Surely G2 can convert from here.
Turbo will not be able to reach the ball. G2 move on to the grand finals. NRG down to the losers. They'll take on either Space Station or Rogue. What a series that was, though, for G2. They figured something out that series, and they figured it out and applied.